Hey guys, welcome back to another AFS video, and today we have a little bit of a problem. But that can wait for the end of the video, because firstly, I have to tell y'all whether or not if the new Fighters Pass is worth it. Now, what do I mean by that? So, what I mean is, the new Fighters Pass, y'all have noticed, has a lot of stuff in it, but the main issue is you cannot complete it with the daily quest right now. And we'll talk about that later, but the only option you have right now is to spend 500k Shakara shards and also spend 3,500 Robux to get through the entire thing. So what I'm about to do is share some of my notes, some of my calculations, and also some other things I went through to let you guys know whether or not it's worth it, because I know a lot of people are wondering, should they buy it or not. And afterwards, I'm going to voice my opinion on the Fighters Pass and some of the things that's going on with it and what's kind of doing to the game right now and the future of the game, but we'll get into that after. Okay. So, what I did to determine the value of the Fighters Pass was I took out everything that the Fighter Pass gave from tier 0 to 50, the free-to-play side and the non-free-to-play side, or not free-to-play with the Shakara shards, you know what it is. So, I took all of those and I took them as if they were not part of the Fighters Pass. So, I compared them to the bundle prices to see what the actual value of the Fighter Pass itself was. And I'm going to give a low ball and a high ball estimate just so you get a generic idea where this is at, because there's no definitive answer. And we're going to go ahead and get these numbers out before we decide whether or not it's worth getting. So what it gives is 143,000 Shakara shards, 6 Easter chest auras, 590 billion yen, but that's me as my rank in class. I'm pretty sure it's a lot more if you're a lower rank, so it's a lot more compared to your class. But for me, that's what I get. You get 4 champions, 6 sword skins, you get 10,800 tokens across all the tokens it gives, and also 2 bloodlines, which are the tier 50s. And so what I did from here was I took each one of these and I compared them to things in the shop to see their actual value. So the 143,000 Shakara shards was about 700 Robux. The auras were about 300 if you take the value of the Shakara shards. The yen was over 9,000. Like, it's around 9,000. It's almost as much yen as the biggest bundle, and that bundle's worth $100 USD. The 6 sword skins I gave no value, but I mean, you can put a label on them. There's just no like actual value in having them besides they look cool. And then for the 10,800 tokens you get, what I did was I took the new mechanic where you can buy tokens in game, and I think it's 999 for every 1,280. So what I did was I took the amount, divided it by 1,280, and then times it by 999, and it came out to being 8,429 Robux. And then lastly, it's the 2 bloodlines at the very end, the tier 50s. I just set them to no value, just a low ball. I also valued each one of the champions as 500 Robux, because that's what Saitama goes for in the offers tab in the shop. But they're all way better than Saitama are in some way, or one form or the other. And then there's also the 500k Shakara shards, which if you have that, and the question is, do I spend it on the Fighters Pass or anything else? There's nothing else in the game that compares to this value, so you want to spend it on this. So that's a no-brainer. You're going to get it not back. You're not even going to get half of it back, and that's where we run into a few problems. But before we say anything about that, should you buy it? Absolutely. It gives you a ton of value, but we have to keep in mind, if you have, let's say theoretically, 4,000 Robux, right? And you just started the game. Do you spend it on the Fighters Pass? No. Game passes are still like the most important thing in the game, and also like it's the most cost efficient compared to the yen packages and also the Shakara shard packages, which are just overly expensive compared to the game passes, and you need them. But if you have enough for both, then definitely do so. And it's also going to be really, really good early game because of the amount of yen it gives. So it's worth buying early on just as much as it is like late game. At any point in the game, it's amazing to have, and the champions are going to help you so much grinding. They're really good champions. But the issue is you want to prioritize the game passes over the Fighters Pass. So if you just have just enough yen, or you have 4,000 and you don't know where to spend it, go to game passes. Trust me. And before we get into a big, I guess, kind of complaint, but I'm just kind of ranting about something I feel is wrong with the Fighters Pass and also with the game right now, let me just point this out, because I don't think anybody's talking about this, and they really need to be. Why are we spending 500k Shakara shards to get 143,000 back? If we got the 500,000 back, then yeah, that makes sense, because we got back what we spent, and also it encouraged us to complete the Fighters Pass. If we had more, If anything, you should give 600 or 700k. Actually, if you should give anything at all, you could also give nothing. Because giving 0 would like at least make a dynamic where you're exchanging the Shikara shards to earn something completely different in exchange, but giving less, I feel like that really just kind of goes on to show that they're just copying the old game without much reasoning behind it, because the old game had this much Shikara, right? But the Fighters Pass cost way less Shikara shards. I think it was like 50k. So you made more. But now they have the thing set to the pretty much, I think, the exact same numbers. I'm pretty sure. And there's just no reasoning behind it. There's like no logic, no sense. And it's showing not really a level of care in this, side of the game. And I think we need to have more care to the Fighters Pass because of like how important it is. And I'm about to go into that. And also the fact that you cannot complete it unless you pay for it, because these quests are insane. But yeah, let's talk about it. Okay, so I tried to record my take and try to like give it, but I didn't like it listening back to it. And this is like my 5th time trying to do it. But I'm really trying to get my point across without making it sound hateful about the game itself, because I love this game. It's a great game. I grew up playing it and I love having it back. And I think the team's great. Everybody is doing the best they can. I mean, there's been a lot of just issues, but I mean, that happens no matter where you at, and there's going to be problems you run into, and you can't please everybody. So, I mean, trying your best is all you can do. And I see people trying and getting pushed to the limit, and that's kind of affecting their results sometimes. And I kind of see that in the Fighters Pass, and that's what I wanted to complain about. So for me, when the update was going to come out, Karama wasn't going to be a big thing for me. And, Karama didn't take long, and those issues with that, I don't really care about all that. But the Fighters Pass was what was supposed to be game-changing to me. Not just for me, but I thought it would almost change the dynamic of the game itself, because right now it's an AFK game. It's going to remain an AFK game, but also when you start coming out with updates once a month and it's an AFK game, people are not going to want to play it as much, because you're just going to AFK, and when you AFK, you want to AFK for the next update to reach a new ceiling. And when it's the same ceiling, just one floor higher, I mean, no one wants to do that anymore. And what the Fighters Pass was going to introduce, in my opinion, was an opportunity to sit in front of your desk, play the game for an hour or two, not just leaving it in the background while watching Netflix or having another Roblox account open, but you was actually playing the game for an hour or two, completing it, and then getting in the next tier. So trying to complete the entire thing. That's why I think, I'm not, saying it's a cash grab. What I'm saying is it's an issue that it's impossible. So if you look at the quest right now, you cannot complete them. There's no shot you are completing them as a free-to-play player or even as a pay-to-win player, because 10 SP is insane. I'm assuming it's no better for, the first few classes whenever it it's less power. If it's even different, I'm assuming it's different. But even if it is, I'm assuming it's not good enough to where this is feasible in any way. And the ticks are insane. You can't even complete this hardly if you're free to play at all, much less, me trying to do it. So you have to pay for it, which I understand. Games want to make money. That's fine. But you have to have dynamics in a game that makes the game playable, not just sitting here doing this and that. And also, that's my next complaint. What are we wanting as a community? So if you look in the Discord right now, and I'm complaining more about people than I even am the devs right now. So they had a poll asking what they want the next update to be on. And, it was Dimension 2, it was this, it was that. And I've seen people saying that they're probably rigged. I don't think they're rigged. The reason why is because I've seen a lot of people just saying they want this. So I think it's for the most part backed up. But people are voting for Dimension 2 over stuff like tournaments and other fun game mechanics. And people are not understanding why that's a horrible decision. So when you introduce Dimension 2, what you're going to introduce is more training areas, maybe a few new champions, maybe a few new quest lines, over time maybe, and eventually a new boss after maybe 2 or 3 months. It's going to take forever for that, and we know it is. I mean, let's not lie to ourselves and act like it's going to come out with Dimension 2. But the point is, it's the same ceiling, again, the exact same gameplay thing. If they even add more gotchas, there's no telling what they are or aren't going to add. So it's the same thing again. You're just doing it again for like a day or two until you AFK the first area, the second training area, and possibly a third, until you sit there until the next update comes out and you do it again. What we need is new gameplay mechanics, is what I'm saying. That's why everybody should have voted for tournament. It's an opportunity to actually sit in front of your desk, play the game, enjoy the game, play with people, and not every server just be dead with a bunch of people AFKing, but it being a fun atmosphere where people do things and have fun. That's why I'm not bashing the devs right now. I think they need to fix the quest for sure, and that's mostly it. Just fix the quest so people can actually do it, because I didn't want to have to pay for it. I wanted to have the enjoyment of playing it free to play, but couldn't even do it. Looked at the quest the first day, I was like, there's no way this is going to happen. And also, this is me asking, I guess almost as a community, next time there's a vote, but also just pointing out, we can't keep doing this. We need to have the new game mechanics. We need to have fun again. We need to make AFS fun. They're having a whole thing about that. I've seen the merch or whatever they had. I don't know what that's all about, but I know we as a community is what's keeping it from being fun, not the devs when we vote for something like this. I know I feel like I'm pushing people. I kind of feel like that right now. I'm not. I'm just saying how I feel, and I really don't think people are thinking about it enough. So give it some thought. Come to your own conclusion. This is me saying mine. But if we're concerned about the future of the game, I think this is definitely something we need to take into account. I'm just joking. I'm not trying to push my opinion too much. Just that's what I think. But that's about all I got. See ya.